All right. So Sharik, now we'll begin with your mock PI. And before we start, do you want to adjust your camera angle because you are not probably seeing into the camera right now, right?
Okay, wait a minute. Actually, it's a Zoom meeting. I'm using Zoom for the first time.
Sure,
If
no
that
worries,
I'm
no worries. So
using
I
Google
was
Meet,
just
so
making sure that you are comfortable, right?
wait a minute. Is it okay?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
it's
it's
fine, fine.
perfectly fine. You are comfortable, right?
Of course, I'm comfortable.
Sure. So we'll begin your PI with a brief introduction of yours. Just brief us around everything that you feel is important for this PI.
Okay. So, as you know my name, I completed my graduation. I completed my schooling from my hometown, which is in Jaunpur, Uttar Pradesh. Post then, I completed my graduation from Veer Bahadur Singh Purvanchal University, Jaunpur. Just after completing my graduation, I got selected in Ministry of Communication Department of Post as an assistant branch postmaster. I worked there for 10 months. Then I submitted my resignation in this year, February. I gave CAT this year and I got a decent score. Maybe if everything went well, I will land in a good base school. And apart from that, I am in my free time. I used to read the biography, and currently I am reading The Boy Who Did Not Rhyme by Ashish Ranjan. So that's all about it.
All right. So you said that you were working in Ministry of Communication, right?
Yes.
So what was the reason of you resigning that job and why do you want to pursue MBA right now?
Okay. Well, so the main reason for the resignation is in the Ministry of Communication Department of Post. There's a huge amount of corruption going on the ground in the Department of Post. So that is the reason for my resignation, and that is the reason that for which the department is going on the loss for since 2006, and in financial year 2023 it's around 20,000 crore, and it is India's one of the most loss making PSU of India, followed by Air India, MNTL, and lots of various PSUs. And why MBA? Since I'm interested in business and I want to go for an MBA to make the to use the business as a tool, and as a fresher pursuing MBA provides me a comprehensive understanding of the uh, business, and ultimately MBA is a MBA is a platform to bridge the gap between the theoretical knowledge with the practical experience. And apart from that, also want to make money and feed my family, and to live a good quality of life, and help the people. So that's all about it.
All right. But don't you think that whatever reasons you mentioned for pursuing MBA could be sufficed from any other field for that matter? You may do anything, anything. You can earn anywhere. Okay? If you are interested in business, you can do business as well. You can earn through business also. So still, I am not personally convinced that what is your reasoning or what is your motivation to do MBA. You gave reason that why you wanted to resign from whatever you were doing in Ministry of Communication. To point taken, but why MBA?
MBA is a field where I can learn the business, since there are lots of other things, and people are making business without doing MBA. There are so many people, but they are just in numbers, they are not in percentage. And MBA provides a ground to know about the fundamentals of the business. So if I go for an MBA, maybe I will not make those mistakes which someone had made in their life. during their business. So I think MBA is a shortcut type of thing which you can use to build a business.
So connecting 2 points that you mentioned, one is that MBA is a shortcut in whatever realm you would see it. But what I feel is indulging into corruption is also a shortcut. So if you are
Of
that
course.
much against the shortcut taking routes, so I think so that MBA is also something that would morally align to your ethics. What you have to
Of
say for
course,
that?
it's the point of ethical, totally the point of ethics. Since during my job,
Hmm.
I can earn a huge quantity of money, huge amount of money, and my friends still making there, currently making there, who joined um, as same date by me.
Hmm.
I can make a good amount of money in the department, but so what about the ethics? What about the teachings of my father, which seeps through my blood? So
Hmm.
it's the game of ethics, and I think if you want to make a good amount of money, and so the business is the only way you can earn as much as you can, and it is a ethical way.
All right. So I'll just give you one situation. Just imagine that you are working for a MNC, right?
Okay,
And you have a ship container that is coming to a dock, right? So you are taking care of that container and you have to make sure that there are no losses in whole of the deal that is going on, right? But the problem is that the particular ship container or the host of that container is kind of not interested in selling whole supply to you. They are getting better offers in other areas also. And that particular person is saying that if you want 100% of the deal or 100% of the consignment, then you have to either indulge into bribing or else will do something that won't be better for both the parties. Like we will look for other options to sell our consignment. So what will you do? Because if you'll not uh, get into that particular deal, then you will face losses. You might have to kind of leave your job because your bosses won't be happy from you. They might kind of chuck you out from the organization. So what would you do in this particular situation,
since it's a game of ethics
right?
and a total a game of ethics, so indulging into the bribe is not a kind of thing which I
Hmm.
am going through. I went for. And I think I will pursue the my opposition to make a kind of middle ground which can help both of us, and without indulging into any unethical activity. Like I will literally, I'm not going to take the bribe. Uh, if of course, if
So I get your
time
point that
comes,
taking bribe is not the option, right? So you are
not
saying
the
that we will
option.
look at a middle path.
And it doesn't matter whether I will lost my job or it will how much
Hmm.
cost the company.
Hmm. Right. So just imagine that I am that particular person who is bringing the consignment for you. I
Okay,
give you 30 seconds, you think, and you give me a pitch that how will you convince me to take a middle path?
okay. I may offer a deal for so
So
that
you
he
just
can.
that I am
I
that particular person. So you offer
Okay,
me whatever you had to have to offer, right?
okay, okay. So I want to purchase. the whole container or whatever in the container from you. Maybe I'm not going to take the bribe. Maybe I will purchase at the higher rates as beyond the normal rate. So if the cost of the container is, let's say, 100 rupees, then I am going to pay 120 rupees for the same container, so that it is it is okay for both of us. For you, you got the money, and for me, I'm not going into any unethical sources, and I also got the whole container. Maybe it costs some extra, but maybe I'll manage into some other equities.
Mm. All right. So, so tell me that have you decided upon any particular specialization that you would want to pursue?
No, currently I'm not keen toward any specific domain or specialization. I
Mm.
I want to go for an general MBA, PGDM. Maybe in the next year I will decide what to pursue and which specialization or domain I have to make my career.
Sharik, again, it makes me sense that you are not really sure. Matlab, you are going into a herd mentality that MBA is a good option. Many people around you or many people in general are doing MBA, and definitely they land up into good jobs, they earn good. But you are not internally motivated to do MBA because neither you have a strong reasoning to do an MBA, then you have also not decided upon any particular specialization that you would want to. So it clearly showcases that you are not motivated to do an MBA, but definitely you are interested to do MBA. Am I right or am I wrong in this statement?
No, I don't say that you are totally wrong or right.
Okay. Mhm.
Since uh, in in contemporary situation, I have not a decent knowledge about the finance, HR, and various programs which is going into the MBA. So when I enter into a B school and learn about so many things, different types of program, and whichever suits me, and I think which is going to help me in my further career, I'm going
Mm.
to pursue same.
All right. So this would be my last question from you. Then Saurav can take over. So this would be a small puzzle, right?
Okay,
Just imagine that you are standing at a point on globe, any point for
okay,
that matter.
okay,
Then you go 1 kilometer south, right? You want to,
okay,
if you want to write, you can write also. If you can remember, it's good. So you go 1 kilometer south, then you go 1 kilometer east,
okay,
then you go 1 kilometer north, and
okay,
now you are at the same position where you started.
okay.
Okay. Do you want me to repeat?
No, no, south, east, and then north.
North. But you are at the same point where you started. So how many such pointers exist on the globe? You can take 1 minute to think and then you can answer. All right.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yes, Sharik. So tell me whatever you have thought of till now, you can tell me. If you don't have a particular answer, no problem. Just tell me what was your thought process.
I'm just thinking about the diagram and the possible scenario which could happen at I'm I'm thinking about how much degree he can bend around. Either
So
if 90 degree, if he moves 90 degree in each direction, then I think it is not possible.
mhm.
And if
But
he
how is it
moves,
possible to move 90-degree on globe? Because globe is a curvature surface, right? I am not moving on a map. I am moving on a sphere. So how is it possible to move 90-degree on a sphere?
so if we dive into the technicality, so
I'm not talking
mm,
about technicality. I'm talking about logic. If you just give me logic, is it do can you leave my question? Can you tell me single point on globe from where even I if I move 1 kilometer, I would be moving in 90-degree direction?
actually since globe is a if we're talking about the earth as a globe, then it has a huge curvature, and
Exactly,
if we stand on any single particular point, then we don't feel like a uh, mm, round kind of thing. It's just a
exactly. So
plane.
that is my point. Ki if you move on a curvature, so there would be certain angle that you would definitely be covering, right?
Yes, of course.
You are from physics background or what is your background? Do you know?
Yes. I have studied physics.
Right. So if we see it from a 3D perspective, then definitely we would be having a point of displacement that would be straight. I do agree. But if you break it into components of theta, sine theta, cos theta, right?
Yes.
So then there would be different curvatures that you would be traveling. It won't be 90-degree, right?
Yes, it wouldn't be 90 degree, but I'm not able to figure out what it is about, how many degrees.
चलो कोई बात नहीं. It's okay यार. It was great interacting with you. I'll now give Saurav opportunity to interact with you. All the best.
Yep. Hi, Sharik. So, can you tell me
Uh,
about your city that you grew up in, Jaunpur, right? Can you tell me more about
yes.
it?
So Jaunpur is a historical city founded by Firoz Shah Tughlaq, and the name Jaunpur is found by his cousin brother Zuna Khan, and it includes various historical monuments such as Jama Masjid and Shahi Pul, and there are different types of maqbaras of the Mughal emperors.
Who,
So
yeah, I wanted to ask you, who is the member of parliament from your constituency?
it's Sri Babu Rao Kushwaha ji.
All right. Uh, so what did you do pursue in your undergrad? Or which domains, which subject?
It's mathematics, physics, chemistry, and mathematics.
Chemistry and mathematics.
Yes,
Uh, all right. So I hope you don't mind me asking you some very basic questions. So
of course.
let's take up chemistry, right? And let's take up
Okay,
atom. So within
okay.
an atom, there's a nucleus, right? Which contains a lot of protons, especially in the higher atomic number particles. Can you tell me how can so many protons stay together in that nucleus? Because there is a strong repulsive force, right? Positive forces repel each other. So how come these elements with large atomic numbers, 100 and beyond, stay in that small nucleus? Why don't they spread away due to repulsion?
So, talking about the nuclear level, there is a force called strong nuclear force, which binds proton, uh, uh, and proton-neutron. So, due to that nuclear force, each and every proton itself and proton-neutron itself got binded together. It's due to a strong nuclear force.
And how does this force exhibit itself? How does it occur?
It's due to subatomic particles. Of course, the proton neutron is also atomic subatomic particle. Then, talking about the subatomic particles of proton, then it is progesterone, and there are various kind of things like uh, progesterone. I can't remember the another one,
All
but
right,
it's a
let's move
progesterone.
on to something else. Let's move on to physics. Can
Okay.
you recall the half-life formula? What is the formula for half-life, calculating half-life, or let's say first order reactions?
I think it's been long time, but it's like T half is equals to R, which is constant, and something to the power 1 by 4,
Ajay,
if
tell
I
me the
am not
difference.
wrong.
Let's make it very simple. What's the difference between a zero order reaction and a first order reaction?
And there is a key criteria dividing the zero order, first order, and second order. I think it's, if I'm not wrong, it's time dependent. Zero order is a zero order is not a time dependent, and first order is a time dependent
So if it does
reaction.
not depend on time, what does it depend on then?
Sorry to say, but I not able to recall the first.
All right, let's move. So you talked about pursuing a general MBA. Do you have any specialization in mind that you find really interesting? Like, you have really dived deep into that and tried to figure out, what is it about, and you have sort of found it very interesting, and there is an initial interest that probably you will explore.
It it may be, I think, consulting type of field.
Again, consulting is not a specialization. It's more of a, like, general role, but in specializations, there are various specializations, like be it analytics, marketing, HR, finance, operations, any of these traditional specializations that you have, read or explored.
Till date, I don't have any specific knowledge about all the domains, but yeah, when I study each and every domain, I will be
So
about
again,
it.
I'll clear some air from, that is still there in your mind. You won't have an year to basically choose your specialization, right? Because in most B schools, after 3 months, you sit for your summer placements. And when the companies come in, they actually come in with roles for finance, operations, marketing, and be it strategy. They come in for those roles. And you have to apply based on that, right? And most of the students, actually 30 to 40%, depending on the college, are actually, go on to take a PPO and then you convert it into final offer. So you don't actually have 1 year to think. And I definitely recommend you to read about the different specializations and try and see if anything is very interesting to you. Also, the subjects that you choose, now you don't actually choose the subjects in second year, because the college also needs to do a lot of preparations to bring in this faculty, additional faculty, and collect those resources. So the bidding process and the selection of subjects also takes place in the first year itself, or probably in the around like second trim, or at the start of the third trim. So yeah, get these things sorted. Now coming to some of the things that you have said, coming to your work ex, tell me more about what you did in Ministry of Communication.
So my work profile is like that. I used to be the assistant branch postmaster, where I have to kind I have to manage the delivery of the mail, how many things, how many parcels or registered letters got delivered. I have to manage the camp in the village or rural areas to aware the villagers about the different type of schemes launched by the government. And there are various type of cash transaction and mm, life in there are various types of insurance. That is all what I'm doing.
All right. So, why did you want a government job?
So I literally don't want to go in a government job, as I brought up where I actually brought up at a place where a government job is a dream thing, like thing, a dream-like thing, where each and everybody pray to the God that I may please grant me a government job. Maybe it is a peon. It is okay for them to be a peon, but it is a government job. So I was forced, so-called, I may say that I was forced to join by my parents, by my family, by my neighbors to go for it and make a career in them. But I don't think that it is playing around for me. So that is why I resigned in an early days.
Are you a man with regrets? Because you don't seem to have your own, you can't take a stand for yourself. Do you think you'd be able to, stick your neck out for others in the organization that you'd work for? Because if you couldn't take a stand for yourself, what you wanted to do in life, and you were pushed into doing something that your parents or some relatives wanted you to do, I think, you probably, corporate is probably not the right field, because people will push you around and only people with strength stand up.
No, talking about the regrets, I don't have any regrets for joining the government department. I learned a lots of things there, and how institution like a big institution like government institution work. I got to know each and everything, and of course, I know lots of things that
I
help
know,
me
I
in
know
my
you may
yes,
have went to the training and work, got some exposure. I'm talking about making those choices. Like, it wasn't your choice to pursue the government job. Your parents forced you to do it, but
yes.
again, you could not stay on track and do it. Like, you had to quit. I'd say you are a quitter, because you quit when you saw corruption. You did not decide to do something.
No, no,
You're
it is
not able
not.
to take a stand. You're not able to take a stand in front of
Actually,
your family.
I have taken a strong stand against on the behalf of the on behalf of my branch and behalf of my department. But since I'm not on a very senior post, when I decided to take the stand against the those officers who are taking the bribe and indulges into unethical activities. And on that regarding, I have written a letter to the Crime Bureau, Central Bureau of Investigation, Lucknow. But I waited for their reply for 6 months, but they are not doing anything. And the whole department, the big officers in my big department, when they got to know that I am taken the action against them, they try to form a conspiracy against me and try to make me in a try to make a fraud case against me in the cash transaction. So when I got to know that there is a conspiracy going against me, I think that it is a time to leave the department since it is not a playing field for me. And also I got a colleague who previously resigned for the same reason, and his brother, who is also in the same department, is currently under trial for the same or type of conspiracy and fraud cases. So I think if I'm going into that, my career will maybe my career will be going to end. So quitting at this time is the best option. So that
All
is
right.
why I quit.
All right. Last question, Sharik. So tell me in
Okay.
3 words, why should we select you? 3 words. You can take 10 seconds.
Okay. So the first one is I am a curious type of person. I am eager to learn the new things. And the second one is I am a quite adaptable. I can adopt a different type of tough situations. And the second one is I am a kind of rational thinker. And I think that whatever happens, everything has a rational have a reason to happen. And if it don't have any reason, it will cease to exist. So I am kind of a rational thinker.
All right. So
All right.
this
So
concludes.
Sharik, so we are done with your mock PI. Firstly, you can relax. So
Okay.
now I'll give you 1 minute. You can give me self-analysis of how your mock PI was, how you felt your mock PI was, and then we'll give our feedback.
Okay. It is not at par with my expectations.
Okay.
Maybe I will improve in the
Hmm.
since it's my second interview. Maybe I will improve in my third one and the fourth one. Talking about the previous interview, yes, I have improved in the few fields. Uh, I think it's a kind of okay, not a
ठीक है
very bad,
तो
not a very good.
ठीक है ऑल राइट सो अब whatever formal conversations we had to do with you are kind of over, will be informal,
Okay,
will be kind of honest firstly, ठीक है, and
okay,
also the point is that कि यार preparation शुरू हो गई है, so the first and the only positive that you have is कि your preparation has started at a very sweet spot, बहुत टाइम है अभी, एंड डेफिनेटली यहाँ पे अगर पहली बात तो तुम जीरो पे हो नहीं, बट अगर तुम जीरो पे भी होते तो भी यहाँ से बिल्ड करना इज वेरी इजी, राइट। बट अब मैं दो चीजें बोलूंगा कि वेन एवर यू सिट फॉर एन इंटरव्यू, टू थिंग्स आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, वन इज योर कंटेंट, सेकंड इज स्ट्रक्चर,
okay.
राइट। अब कंटेंट तो तुम्हारे पास है, बट द पॉइंट इज दैट कि वेन यू गिव अ मॉक पीआई ना, या वेन यू गिव अ पीआई फॉर दैट मैटर, तो देयर आर चांसेस कि कोई क्वेश्चन जैसे वाई एमबीए डायरेक्टली ना पूछ के, जैसे मैंने पूछा, थोड़ा ट्वीक करके पूछा, सो यू हैव द कंटेंट फॉर दैट आंसर बट you don't have structure, and if you don't
Yes,
speak
it's a
the
kind of
answer in,
unorganized.
yes, so if you'll speak anything unstructured way में, तो तुमको भी समझ नहीं आएगा मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ, सुनने वाले को भी समझ नहीं आएगा कि क्या बोलना चाह रहे हो, ठीक है। एंड जो लोग यूजुअली बोलते हैं ना कि माई इंटरव्यू वॉज वेरी ग्रिलिंग, सो टू बी ऑनेस्ट इट इज नॉट ग्रिलिंग, इट इज एट अ पॉइंट जहां पे इंटरव्यूअर इज नॉट एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट यू वांट टू से, एंड वो ऐसा डिग डाइव करते हैं कि भाई क्या एग्जैक्टली exactly बोलना क्या जा रहे हो, ठीक है। एंड लेट मी टेल यू कि सबसे हाइजीन क्वेश्चंस जो होते हैं ना, वही सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन भी होते हैं। जैसे जो सौरभ ने पूछा या जो मैंने बाद में पूछा, पजल पूछा, जो भी पूछा, वो नहीं आता एक बार को, नहीं बोल रहा मैं कि सिलेक्शन हो जाएगा, बट उससे रिजेक्शन भी नहीं होगा, राइट। बट इफ तुम्हारा टेल मी समथिंग अबाउट योर सेल्फ, इफ तुम्हारा वाई एमबीए, इफ तुम्हारा तुम्हारी लाइफ से रिलेटेड कोई भी चीज इज नॉट क्लियर टू यू, या इट माइट बी क्लियर टू यू बट यू आर नॉट एबल टू काइंड ऑफ थ्रो इट आउट इन अ स्ट्रक्चर्ड मैनर जिससे इंटरव्यूअर भी समझ पाए बात को, तो चांसेस ऑफ गेटिंग रिजेक्टेड आर ऑलमोस्ट 100%, राइट। अब वही चीज है कि मतलब ऑब्वियसली तुम्हारी गलती नहीं है क्योंकि यू आर नॉट इन टू दैट एमबीए का जर्नी, तो तुमको नहीं पता, बट ऐसा नहीं होता, मतलब अ पर्सन हु इज सिटिंग फॉर अ बी स्कूल इंटरव्यू ऑल्सो ना, उसको ये तो पता ही होता है मेरे को कौन सी स्पेशलाइजेशन में इंटरेस्ट है, बट उसको उसके बारे में भी पता होता है, वो उसके बारे में भी पढ़ के जाता है। जैसे मेरे को सेल्स एंड मार्केटिंग में करना था, तो मैं सेल्स एंड मार्केटिंग भी पढ़ के गया था कि उसमें से और क्वेश्चंस पूछते हैं, बेसिक क्वेश्चंस ही पूछेंगे कि फोर पीस बता दो, ये बता दो, वो बता दो, बट पूछते हैं। तो यू कांट जस्ट ऐसा ब्लाइंडली से कि मैं बी स्कूल में जाता हूँ और फिर मैं देखूंगा, क्योंकि एज सौरभ राइटली मेंशन टाइम नहीं मिलता ना। अब समर इंटर्नशिप के लिए शुरू हो जाएगा तुम्हारा प्रोसेस 3-4 महीने में, तो एक साल तो तुमको नहीं मिलने वाला।
हाँ,
तो इट इज नॉट दैट, मतलब ऐसा नहीं है कि ये होगा तो ही सिलेक्शन होगा, ये नहीं होगा तो ही सिलेक्शन होगा, बट इट इज ऑल्सो गुड फॉर यू। जस्ट इमेजिन ना कि तुमको इंटरेस्ट नहीं पता आज, अब तुम जाके बी स्कूल में ऐसा एक्सप्लोर कर रहे हो, एंड गलती से तुम किसी ऐसी कंपनी में लैंड अप कर गए जो तुम्हारे इंटरेस्ट से अलाइन ही नहीं करती, तो तुम्हारी समर इंटर्नशिप एक ऐसी कंपनी में हो जाएगी जहां पे तुम्हारा इंटरेस्ट अलाइन नहीं करता। फिर तुम फाइनल्स में अगर ऐसी कंपनी के लिए बैठना चाहते हो जो तुम्हारे इंटरेस्ट से अलाइन करता है, तो तुम्हारा सीवी तुम्हारे इंटरेस्ट से अलाइन नहीं करेगा, समझ रहे हो। तो इट इज जस्ट दैट कि हाउ मच वेल अवेयर यू आर अबाउट वट एवर यू हैव टू डू इन फ्यूचर ऑल्सो। पास्ट के बारे में पता होना इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, बट फ्यूचर में क्या करने वाले हो, एटलीस्ट अगले 2 साल में, जिसके लिए तुमने इतनी मेहनत करके कैट दिया, अच्छा स्कोर है, उसमें तुम अगले 2 साल में क्या करने वाले हो वो तो तुमको पता होना चाहिए बहुत अच्छे से,
बिल्कुल।
राइट। ठीक है, तो एक वो चीज हो गई। एंड इट इज जस्ट लाइक, मतलब ये मैं क्लास में भी बहुत एग्जांपल देता हूँ, इट इज जस्ट लाइक यू हैव टू गो एंड यू हैव टू काइंड ऑफ कन्विंस अ गर्ल टू डेट यू, ठीक है। तो जस्ट इमेजिन, अब तुम मेरे को इस बात का जवाब देना, यू आर गोइंग टू अ गर्ल एंड यू आर नॉट एबल टू कन्विंस हर दैट यू हैव मूव्ड ऑन फ्रॉम योर एक्स, विल शी एक्सेप्ट योर प्रपोजल?
Definitely not.
सिमिलरली एक बी स्कूल भी तुम्हारा प्रपोजल एक्सेप्ट नहीं करेगा जब तक तुम उसको नहीं बोलते कि आई हैव मूव्ड ऑन फ्रॉम वट एवर पास्ट वर्क एक्सपीरियंस है, वट एवर पास्ट इंटरेस्ट आई हैव, एंड दिस इज द ओनली थिंग आई वांट टू फोकस ऑन. Now giving you second scenario, just imagine you are introducing yourself to a girl and you are not able to tell about yourself only. तो अगेन एक्सेप्टेंस नहीं आएगा. तो मतलब दिस इज द बेस्ट एनालॉजी कि भाई यू हैव टू सेल योर सेल्फ एंड ऑफ द डे, चाहे वो किसी इंसान को हो, यहाँ पे किसी बी स्कूल को है. यू हैव टू बी द बेस्ट वर्जन ऑफ योर सेल्फ, प्रिपेयर योर सेल्फ वेल. मतलब ऑब्वियसली यू कैन डू वेरी गुड, तुम एक सीरियस कैंडिडेट हो वो दिखता है, बट ऐसा खाली दिखने से नहीं चलेगा भाई.
हाँ वो तो है।
है ना. अब मैं
दरअसल
मर्सिडीज भी ले आऊं खरीद के कि बहुत अच्छी दिखती है पर वो ऐसा चलेगा ढंग से, तो मेरे को एंड ऑफ द डे तो यही होगा कि दिस इज नॉट अ गुड कार. तो दिखना एक पॉइंट तक मैटर करता है, बट उसके बाद परफॉर्मेंस पे बात आ जाती है.
दरअसल अभी तक तो अभी आंसर की रिलीज होने के बाद ही अभी
हम्म.
सब मटेरियल सोर्सेज वगैरह के बारे में सर्च करना स्टार्ट किया, तो कुछ सोर्सेज मिले हैं, उनसे कुछ कुछ
हाँ तो
लेके टाइप
भाई
ऑफ
सोर्सेज से
क्वेश्चन।
पढ़ो, सोर्सेज से अच्छे से पढ़ो, बट आई विल ऑल्सो सजेस्ट कि यार मतलब हैव अ मेंटोर. मतलब अब मेरे को पता है मैं यहाँ प्रेप भी बोलूंगा तो सबको ऐसा होगा मार्केटिंग कर दिया, मैं नहीं बोलूंगा
हाँ
प्रेप भी में
बिल्कुल।
ही आओ, बट हैव अ मेंटोर फॉर योर सेल्फ. क्योंकि ये एक ऐसी जर्नी है ना, मतलब कैट की प्रेपरेशन इज वेरी इजी व्हेन यू कंपेयर इट टू अ जीडीपीआई प्रेपरेशन, क्योंकि ये बहुत डायनामिक है. तुमसे कौन क्या पूछ दे तुमको ही नहीं पता. मतलब आज भी मैं किसी इंटरव्यू में बैठूं, मेरे से कौन कोई क्या पूछ दे, शायद मेरे को नहीं आता हो, तो मेरे को नहीं पता. तो इट इज ऑलवेज ऐसा कांस्टेंट ग्रोथ वाला पाथ है. तो कांस्टेंट ग्रोथ इज इंपॉर्टेंट, बट एक डायरेक्शन इज ऑल्सो इंपॉर्टेंट. सो गेट अ मेंटोर. कोचिंग से लेना है कोचिंग से लो. तुम किसी को जानते हो जो एमबीए कर रहा है, तुम्हारा कोई भाई हो, कोई दोस्त हो जिसने ये एक जर्नी पास ऑन करी हो, तो जस्ट बी इन टच विद समवन. साइलोज में मत प्रिपेयर करो. दिस इज माय ओनली सजेशन टू यू. एंड इस बारे में एक बार सोचो कि ट्राई टू गिव स्ट्रक्चर, क्योंकि तुम्हारे पास स्ट्रक्चर नहीं होता ना तो तुम बोलते चले जाओगे. तुमको पता है कि यही स्ट्रक्चर है, तो एक पॉइंट के बाद तुम चुप हो जाओगे. तुम्हें पता होगा कि जितना बोलना था उतना मैं बोल चुका हूँ. स्ट्रक्चर नहीं होगा ना तो अंदर से यही फील आता है कि मैं ये भी बोल दूं, ये भी बोल दूं, कहीं मेरा आंसर आधा ना रह जाए, आंसर कन्विंसिंग नहीं लगा तो वो बहुत प्रॉब्लमेटिक होता है. क्योंकि सामने वाले का भी अटेंशन स्पैन ना बहुत लिमिटेड होता है. यहाँ तो हम खाली तुम्हारा पीआई ले रहे हैं, वो लोग एक दिन में 20-20 25-25 पीआई लेते हैं. तो इस चीज को तुमको ऐसा मेक श्योर करके चलना है कि यू हैव टू बी वेरी क्रिस्प एंड प्रिसाइज इन योर आंसर, सेम इम्पैक्ट के साथ पर बहुत ही क्रिस्प मैनर में तुमको डिलीवर करना. ठीक है. एंड मेरा लास्ट फीडबैक तुम्हारे लिए बस ये होगा कि प्लीज बी माइंडफुल ऑफ वट एवर यू आर स्पीकिंग एंड वट एवर यू आर बींग आस्क्ड. ठीक है. अब जैसे तुमने एक जगह पे बोला कि आई विल नॉट टेक ब्राइब, तो टेक ब्राइब का तो मैंने ऑप्शन ही नहीं बोला था. मैंने कहा यू हैव टू गिव ब्राइब टू दैट पर्टिकुलर पर्सन, कि वो तुमको सारा कंसाइनमेंट दे दे इंस्टेड ऑफ गिविंग इट टू समवन एल्स. राइट.
अच्छा, तो मे भी
तो
सुनने में कुछ प्रॉब्लम।
हाँ, तो अब ऐसा ऑनलाइन में हो सकता है क्योंकि कनेक्टिविटी इशू कभी भी हो सकता है. राइट. तो कोई भी तुमको डाउट है उसको क्लियर करो. तुमको लग रहा है थोड़ा भी कनेक्टिविटी इशू था, प्लीज आस्क देम पोलाइटली कि कैन यू प्लीज रिपीट. जरूरी नहीं है कि
ठीक
उनका
है।
क्वेश्चन खत्म होते ही तुमको आंसर देना है. तुम आराम से सोच सकते हो 30-40 सेकंड. ठीक है. एंड एक लास्ट चीज और थी यार, बैड माउथ मत करो. जो भी तुम्हारे पास्ट एक्सपीरियंसेस थे ना, तुम्हारे अपने थे. समझ रहे हो. अगर तुम किसी कंपनी को या किसी मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ क्या कम्युनिकेशन था, तुम उसको जो भी सच था या जो भी झूठ था वो हमें नहीं पता, मतलब फॉर दैट मेरे को या सौरभ को नहीं पता, तुमको डेफिनेटली पता है. बट बैड माउथ मत करो. अब हो सकता है ना तुम किसी बी स्कूल में जाओ जिसके भी काफी ज्यादा ड्रॉबैक्स हों. अब उनको लगेगा कि यार मैं किसी ऐसे बंदे से बात कर रहा हूँ जिसको ये फिल्टर आउट ही नहीं करना आता कि वो किसके सामने क्या बोल रहा है. देर देर आर टू अननोन स्ट्रेंजर सिटिंग एंड वो हमारे बारे में बैड माउथ कर रहा है, तो हो सकता है कल बी स्कूल के बारे में भी बैड माउथ कर दे. राइट. कोई कंपनी वाला सोच सकता है कि हो सकता है हमारे लिए भी बैड माउथ कर दे, तो कभी किसी के लिए खराब नहीं बोलना.
ओके ओके।
ठीक है. तो वाई एमबीए का आंसर एक बार अच्छे से सोच लो कि क्या बोलना है, बट जो अभी बोला वो मत बोलना प्लीज. बैड माउथ मत करो किसी चीज को.
ठीक है ठीक।
ठीक है. चलो ओके, ऑल द बेस्ट.
थैंक यू।
Yeah, I think I have, I'll just build on to what Dev said. Dev has sort of give you a perspective as to the direction that you should think in. And I'll simply tell you a few points that I find were not good enough. First is you tell me about yourself. It's not really convincing. It does not have enough hooks for me to ask questions from. That is why I went into your undergrad and you found it very
Okay.
uncomfortable. And then again, I went into specialization. I tried to, see if you have anything, and then again, you became uncomfortable. So that gave me a few pointers that you're not ready. You're not the right candidate for me because you were not you did not understand how life in a B school works, right? You did not understand that summers take place 3 months after you enter, and then you have to choose subjects before the second year. So these are some of the things that give us a cue as people who are on the other side and those professors as well, that you have not had a conversation with enough people to figure out what is MBA like. Again, uh, just giving you an example, somebody who has that information, they are in a good light automatically. Because again, if you are curious about something, now you will take that time and talk to people, try and figure out information. A very common sense thing to do and sensible thing to do, because you are investing 24 lakhs, 25 lakhs, 30 lakhs, whatever the amount is. So please do that. Talk to people. Again, Dave mentioned having a mentor. You can have any mentor, even if you know someone who is currently doing an MBA. You can ask him if he wants to be your mentor. That is also another thing. Obviously, there are different institutes who are providing mentors for that purpose as well. Again, I mean, anything that comforts you, suits you, you can go ahead with that. Now coming to your answers, I think your answers were here and there with a lot of mistakes. You talked about corruption initially, right? And you mentioned something like I resigned due to corruption, and we are making losses for 2000 crores. Corruption is one thing, okay, but losses are not only due to corruption. Again, that is where you could have shown me a different perspective, that what are different things that are affecting the organization. That would have told me that you have actually, while you were working at your job, you were looking at the bigger picture, trying to understand the organization, getting into the elements, understanding where did the organization go wrong. That is what MBAs are not like, simple people who do their job and get the salary. They are folks who give direction to corporates, especially you. If you pass out from any good B school, you'd probably be a VP in 6 to 8 years. And then you'll be heading the strategy function, working with leaders. So that sort of thought process is required, and that's what they're looking for. You miss the bus there also. Again, you mentioned MBA is a shortcut. My dear, MBA is not a shortcut. uh, it's definitely it's anything but a shortcut, because uh, it does not shortcuts are tend to be seen in a way that something that you're trying to cheat a system to get to somewhere, whereas MBA is not. It's just for people who need that knowledge, who to get into a certain area of specialization, right? So that is where MBA comes in. It builds onto your interests that you already have, and probably some experience if you are bringing in. Uh, I think ethics,
Okay.
you were trying to, battle it out. It's a tough question that they've put in. But yeah, again, some of the statements you made, I'm not very keen for any specialization, not a right statement to make. Again, Dave, during the conversation, told you that, you are just interested. And then he also used some other words, and then you agreed to him. So that's the way of a interviewer trying to trying to make you agree with his statement, which should not ideally happen. You should stay on your ground and have that point, whatever point you are making, actually go through in your preparations to understand if that's the right point to stand on. And if you have made it, stand on it. You cannot back down during an interview from your points, because the panel will push you to try and to make you accept something that you have probably not agreed to in the initial parts, and then there's a conflict, and then you'll be under tremendous stress to defend it. Why government job? Again, that did not sound like a very good answer to go for, because the switch was very difficult then. You said you did something that your parents wanted to, and then you quit in 10 months. Puts you in a bad light, that you, as a person, you're not really decisive, right? And you
Okay.
could not think for yourself or make the right choices at the right moment. So work on that answer as well. Try and have some elements that will, say that, yeah, this is my position. I could not have done anything else. When you put in that
Okay.
perspective, then probably, I'll be able to relate to. Otherwise, if you simply state facts, I'm not able to connect, and then I'll simply dismiss you, because there are a lot of other candidates. Now everybody is cognitively on the same page. What's the difference? It's the behavioral and the way you come across your thinking. So if you're not coming strongly in that respect, you are going to get eliminated, right? Yeah, I think I have covered the most part. They've talked about alignment. Make sure to have alignment within your profile, and then at least a few years down the line, after your MBA, that will actually, help you do well. So that's my feedback for you. Uh,
Yes,
Do you have any
actually.
follow-up questions?
So yeah, is there any good thing in the interview? I know
हाँ
there are various
हाँ हाँ हाँ,
lots of
ट्रू.
uh,
सो
lots of
गुड थिंग यार,
things.
देखो, अब कंटेंट वाइज आई वोंट लाई, कंटेंट वाइज देर वर नॉट अ लॉट ऑफ गुड थिंग्स, बट देखो, इफ आई टॉक अबाउट एज अ पर्सन, मतलब अब वही है कि सौरभ माइट डिफर फ्रॉम माई परस्पेक्टिव, बट अगर मैं एक इंटरव्यूअर होता, तो वन थिंग दैट आई लाइक्ड अबाउट यू वाज कि दो यू नो कि इंटरव्यू अच्छी डायरेक्शन में नहीं जा रहा, बट तुम्हारा टेम्परामेंट वाज बैंग ऑन भाई, कि ठीक है यार, मतलब इट वाज, मतलब दिस इज समथिंग दैट वी आल्सो टीच कि टेक एवरी क्वेश्चन एज अ न्यू अपॉर्चुनिटी टू कम बैक. समझ रहे हो, मतलब इट इज नॉट इंपॉर्टेंट कि स्टार्ट बहुत अच्छा होना चाहिए, अच्छा है तो इट इज वेल एंड गुड, बट कम बैक्स के ऑप्शन हर क्वेश्चन पे होते हैं. एक भी ऐसा क्वेश्चन जहां यू आंसर समथिंग दैट इज वेरी गुड, दैट इज वेरी रेलेवेंट, दैट कैन क्रिएट अ इम्पैक्ट, सो यू आर बैक इन द गेम, वहां से तुम अपना इंटरव्यू बिल्ड कर सकते हो. तो तुम्हारे अंदर वो क्वालिटी है. बट वही बात है कि कंटेंट वाज मिसिंग, तो कमबैक्स थे, मतलब कमबैक का एफर्मेशन था, बट कमबैक नहीं हो पा रहा था. बट उसमें कुछ गलत नहीं है, बेसिस तुम्हारी प्रेपरेशन अभी शुरू भी नहीं हुई ढंग से. समझ रहे हो ना, अभी तो डायरेक्शन भी नहीं मिला ना, मतलब. तो
अभी तो बस
अभी से
कंटेंट
अच्छा,
इधर उधर से
तो
लेके तैयारी हो
तो
रहा
आई टेल यू समथिंग. देखो, अब मैं किसी छोटे बच्चे से आज पूछूं कि डू यू नो व्हाट इज 2+2, उसको शायद नहीं पता हो. मैं उसको बोल दूं भाई 2+2 इज 4, वो कल से बता देगा. ठीक है, तो जो चीजें तुम लैक करते हो ना, वो चीजें इज वेरी इजी टू बिल्ड ऑन. बट तुम्हारा टेम्परामेंट कैसा रहता है इन दीज सॉर्ट ऑफ सिचुएशंस. मैं किसी को बोल दूं जिसको डर लगता है कि कल से तुमको इस सिचुएशन में नहीं डरना, नहीं चेंज होगा ना कुछ मेरे बोलने से. तो यही तुम्हारी स्ट्रेंथ है कि जो चीजें बहुत टाइम लेती हैं चेंज होने में, जो इंटरव्यू के लिए मैटर भी करती हैं, वो तुम्हारे पास है ऑलरेडी, राइट.
है।
अब कंटेंट नहीं है यार, तो कंटेंट तो ऐसा, जब कैट की भी तैयारी शुरू करी थी, पहले मॉक से तो किसी के बहुत अच्छे स्कोर्स नहीं आते ना, धीरे धीरे पढ़ते हैं, कंटेंट बिल्ड होता है, परफॉर्म कर देते हैं. लेकिन अब कोई बंदा ही ऐसा है जिसको मॉक देखते ही डर लग जाए, और उसको मैं बोलूँ कि 1 महीने के अंदर तुमको ये हैबिट ही छोड़नी है कि यू हैव टू बी वेरी कॉन्फिडेंट, प्रेशर नहीं आना चाहिए बिल्कुल, नॉट पॉसिबल. सो योर टेम्परामेंट, योर वे ऑफ स्पीकिंग, देन योर टोन. ऐसा नहीं है कि तुम भागते हो बोलते हुए. योर टोन इज वेरी गुड, इट इज वेरी सटल, इट इज वेरी ऐसा काम एंड कंपोज्ड, कि ठीक है भाई, मैं सॉर्टेड हूं, मतलब दिस दिस इज समथिंग दैट ऑल्सो व्हाट बी स्कूल लुक्स फॉर. क्योंकि यार वही, जैसे सौरभ ने बोला कि एंड ऑफ द डे द गोल इज टू मेक यू अ एम्प्लॉयबल मैनेजर टुमारो, एंड प्रोबेबली अ लीडर. तो लीडर के पास ऑब्वियसली नॉलेज होनी चाहिए, सब होना चाहिए, वो बी स्कूल भी प्रोवाइड करता है. बट लीडर के पास एक ऐसी क्वालिटी भी होनी चाहिए ना, कि कल कोई प्रेशराइजिंग सिचुएशन है, तुम्हारे टारगेट से जो तुम अचीव नहीं कर पा रहे, तो आर यू एबल टू सर्वाइव इन दैट सिचुएशन. तो ये सब क्वालिटीज तुम्हारे अंदर हैं. ऑल्सो अब मैंने तुमको हिंट दे दिया, तो यू कैन यूज दिस इन योर आंसर्स ऑल्सो. अगर तुमसे कभी ये आंसर पूछा जाता है कि व्हाट आर योर स्ट्रेंथ्स, सो यू कैन गो अक्रॉस दिस कि आई फील आई एम रियली काम एंड कंपोज. एग्जाम्पल ये मत देना कि आई हैड अ मॉक पीआई एंड मेरे को फीडबैक मिला था कि आई एम वेरी काम एंड कंपोज, सो हेंस आई एम सेइंग दिस. कुछ सोचो अपनी लाइफ में कि ऐसा कोई सिचुएशन हुआ हो जहां पे बहुत ही, अब उसमें वो सब एग्जाम्पल्स मत लाना कि मेरे साथ किसी ने बुरा करा था, कहीं करप्शन चल रहा था.
नहीं
किसी
नहीं।
को खराब नहीं बोलना, अपने को अच्छा दिखाना है बस. समझ रहे हो ना. अब तुम वही, मैं दोबारा एग्जांपल देता हूँ कि किसी अगर गाड़ी खरीदने जा रहे हो, तो वो कभी नहीं बोलेंगे सर दूसरों की गाड़ी तो बहुत खराब है, दूसरों की, वो बोलेगा भाई दूसरों की गाड़ी में दूसरों के शोरूम में देखूंगा, तुम मेरे को अपनी गाड़ी के बारे में बताओ. बस ये है, ठीक है. सो सिलेक्शन हो जाएगा, क्योंकि जो चीजें लॉन्ग टर्म में बिल्ड होती हैं वो तुम्हारे पास हैं, शॉर्ट टर्म चीजें हैं, एक हफ्ता भी लग के पढ़ाई करोगे सही डायरेक्शन में, जी हाँ, तुम आज हो उससे बहुत बेटर पोजीशन में होगे।
And I'm struggling with my English. So what do you think about it?
इंग्लिश में कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है भाई, मतलब वो सौरभ के फीडबैक में भी, मेरे फीडबैक में भी ऐसा कोई पॉइंट नहीं आया कि इंग्लिश में प्रॉब्लम है। क्योंकि यार मतलब दिस इज समथिंग दैट और व्हाट आवर मेंटर्स टॉट टू अस, कि वहां किसी को ना शशि थरूर नहीं चाहिए। उनको इतना चाहिए कि एक डिसेंट इंग्लिश बोल पाए एंड बात कम्युनिकेट कर पाए। एंड वो भी बस इसलिए क्योंकि देयर आर सर्टेन इंस्टेंसेस जहां पे यू हैव टू डील विद फॉरेन क्लाइंट्स और फॉरेन स्टेक होल्डर्स, ठीक है। तो उसके लिए इंग्लिश आनी चाहिए। किसी को इम्प्रेस नहीं करना इंग्लिश बोल के। मतलब वी पर्टिकुलरली से दिस कि अगर आपकी इंग्लिश बहुत ज्यादा अच्छी भी है तो भी कीप इन माइंड कि सामने वाले की शायद ना हो। तो चूज सिंपल लैंग्वेज, चूज सिंपल वर्ड्स एंड ट्राई टू कम्युनिकेट इजीली। फ्लॉन्ट नहीं करना वहां पे, राइट। तो
Okay.
इंग्लिश में कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, ये तो दिमाग से निकाल दो कि इंग्लिश में कोई प्रॉब्लम है। इंग्लिश बहुत डिसेंट है, जितना होना चाहिए उतना है। इंग्लिश की वजह से कभी रिजेक्शन नहीं आएगा।
Okay.
चलो,
आई
ठीक
थिंक
है।
देव ने जो बात बोला उससे आई एग्री. You were, very calm. Even when we are asking tough questions, trying to put you on the spot, you were very calm. And if you did not know, you said, I did not know. That is a very good trait to have, instead of, trying to lie or taking a guess. So again, that's good. Again, the other aspect of your CV that is good, I think, that you have done during your childhood and during your 10th and 12th is score good marks. So you have built a good
That's the
profile.
only thing I have in my
Uh,
profile.
So again, that is a plus, right? It's a big plus. It's a big plus now. It's a big plus during your summers. It's a big plus when you sit for final placements. Acads do matter. So you have done the things that cannot be changed.
Of
What
course.
can be changed? Obviously, you need to work on.
I'm currently actually working on it. दरअसल अभी तुरंत आंसर के आने के बाद सारी चीजें मैं अब क्लास 10th में इकोनॉमिक्स के बारे में थोड़ा थोड़ा पढ़ा था। अब 7-8 साल बाद फिर से इकोनॉमिक्स, टू बी ऑनेस्ट विद यू आई डोंट नो अ सिंगल थिंग अबाउट neither MBA nor economics, HR, finance. I don't know a single thing
यार
about
मैं
it.
तुमको एक सजेशन दूं, पहले ना एक हफ्ता लगा के अपने बारे में पढ़ो, ठीक है। मैं अभी मतलब ये तो मैं सबके लिए ही बोल रहा हूँ कि नॉट 100% बट एक बेसलाइन प्रेपरेशन के लिए जो चीजें रिक्वायर्ड है वो हम फ्री में ही यूट्यूब पे भी लाने वाले हैं। तो वो तो एटलीस्ट तुम फॉलो कर ही लेना, ठीक है। तो मैं पहले ये बोलूंगा कि पहले अपने बारे में पढ़ लो, क्योंकि जो तुम जिस डायरेक्शन में तुम जा रहे हो ना, फिर उसका कोई लिमिट नहीं है। इकोनॉमिक्स आएगा तो फिर मैक्रो माइक्रो आ जाएगा, फिजिक्स आ जाएगा, केमिस्ट्री आ जाएगा, मैथ्स आ जाएगा, उसकी कोई लिमिट नहीं है, है ना। तो उस चीज में, उस लूप में अगर तुम फंस गए अभी से तो प्रॉब्लमेटिक हो जाएगा। तो पहले प्रिपेयर अबाउट योर सेल्फ, जो बेसिक एचआर आंसर्स होते हैं, ठीक है। जब लगे कि यहाँ पे कॉन्फिडेंस आ चुका है, नॉट 100% बट 60-70% कॉन्फिडेंस आ चुका है, फिर उन सब चीजों को पैरेलली प्रिपेयर करना शुरू करो। तब तक करंट अफेयर्स करो, ठीक है। करंट अफेयर्स के बारे में पढ़ते रहो,
ठीक है।
अपने बारे में एक्सप्लोर करते रहो चीजें, जिससे पता चले कि आगे मैं किस चीज में इंटरेस्टेड हूँ, क्या मैं करना चाहता हूँ, है ना। वो तुम्हारा वन ऑफ द एचआर आंसर्स भी होगा कि व्हाट इज योर लॉन्ग टर्म गोल, व्हाट इज योर शॉर्ट टर्म गोल। तो एक हफ्ता लगाओ, कोई जल्दी नहीं है। अभी तुम बहुत ज्यादा हेड स्टार्ट में हो, कई लोग अभी तक ओमेट्स ही दे रहे हैं, तो तुम बहुत हेड स्टार्ट में हो, ठीक है। तो यूटिलाइज दैट।
Okay.
ठीक है. अगर कोई क्वेश्चंस नहीं है तो we can conclude this session, Dev, I think. So,
श्योर श्योर श्योर। ऑल द बेस्ट शारिक यार,
yeah,
ऑल द
all the
बेस्ट।
way, Sharik, and to everyone who has just joined in. Uh, you guys can stay in touch with us and, trying to make use of the resources that we provide. I'll simply drop um, the link in the chat box for you guys. आप प्लीज़ हमसे कनेक्ट हो जाओ अगर आप अभी तक नहीं हो तो, सो दैट कुछ भी आपके डाउट्स होंगे, क्वेरीज होंगे, सो वी कैन टेक दैट अप.
And
इसी
also
चीज से
that कि
रिलेटेड।
शारिक, yeah, please. So I was just saying that also अगर शारिक की तरह किसी और को मॉक पीआई देना हो, फ्री मॉक पीआई है बेसिकली, अगर किसी को प्रैक्टिस करना हो, please go ahead, you can connect with our team, you can book a free mock PI, and similarly feedback mechanism तो एक हो जाएगा built, at least you'll get a direction कि जो अभी तक prepare करा है, is it right, is it wrong, should you change your strategy? So yes.
या एंड प्लीज अगर आपने अभी तक प्रिपरेशन स्टार्ट नहीं किया है तो स्टार्ट कर दीजिए, क्योंकि टाइम धीरे धीरे करके निकल जाएगा, एंड द अर्लियर यू स्टार्ट द मोर एडवांटेज you'll हैव, क्योंकि आप प्रिपेयर्ड रहोगे, वेल प्रिपेयर्ड रहोगे। एंड अगेन आई विल सजेस्ट कि फाइंड अ मेंटर, कहीं से भी फाइंड कर लो यार। इफ यू वांट टू यू ऑलरेडी हैव वन, नो समवन टू डू दैट। इफ यू वांट टू टेक एनी हेल्प फ्रॉम एनी अदर कोचिंग, डू टेक इट। इफ यू वांट टू टेक हेल्प फ्रॉम अस, तो आप प्रेबी के वेबसाइट पे जा सकते हो, वहाँ पे देख सकते हो। उससे पहले एक काम करो, कनेक्ट कर लेना ग्रुप पे, पूछ लेना जो भी डाउट्स हैं, क्वेरीज है, मेरे को ये हेल्प चाहिए, ये हेल्प चाहिए, क्या मेरे को कैसे मिल सकता है, क्या हो सकता है, क्या करना चाहिए। ठीक है, पहले आप इन्फॉर्मेशन ले लो, उसके बाद यू नो उसके बाद देन यू डिसाइड। ठीक है, बट आई आई जहाँ से भी करना है स्टार्ट कर दो। दैट्स व्हाट आई विल से। सीवी आई डोंट नो कल का स्लॉट है या नहीं है, ठीक है। आई थिंक ये कोई फिक्स डे पे